Hello, hello, hello there, everyone. Alex here with Lucksack Games, and I'm bringing you today a Legacy League with Leylines again. We had so much fun last time, I thought we'd run it back. So, hopefully you're all doing well. If you're watching on the stream, greetings to you as well. Unfortunately, I'm homesick today. Had to go to the hospital regarding a stupid spider bite. Amazing how small things can really just mess up your life, right? Alright, so looks like we found our first opponent. Let's see what we're against. No, don't run away, opponent. We're not scary. We're fun. We're having fun. Nothing scary over here. No, our opponent ran away. Tisk tisk, opponent. So, since our league matchmaking failed, we do get priority on the next guy that we're gonna fight. Guy, girl, non-binary, there's no discrimination on this stream. Alright, let's go. Join match. Let's see who we're against. Don't run away like our last opponent. Stick around. See what wild fun awaits you. Alright, we're against person Narashi. We will take the play. Oh, this hand's really, really good. I'm going to go ahead and keep this. So we have 4 Opalescents to draw to. 1 and 2 Starfield of Nyx. I can't remember at the moment how many are in the list. And I'm going to pass to this turn. Oh, I should have kept that in hand because now we've exposed ourselves to Wasteland. See, already making a misplay. Unfortunately, if the Serum Powder had been the Opalescence, this would have been the turn 1 on the play kill. So let's see what the opponent plays here. We're going to play the Serum Powder out. That way we can play around Daze on our... it looks like we're against Storm. We're going to play the Serum Powder out so that we're insured against Daze on our Starfield, if that's our draw. Enlightened Tutor is an Opalescence or Starfield with Suspend 1. So that's also acceptable. We'd prefer just to draw on the Opalescence. So go ahead and go to their end stat. And flash in something. Alright, pausing. Probably to read what some of these Leylines do. They cannot gain life. If us or one of our Leylines becomes the target of something, they take 2 damage. I don't remember what Life Force does. Creature spells can't be countered, which doesn't matter. And Anticipation is Flash, which we're using right now. Alright, take a draw. And? We drew Starfield of Nyx. Is it resolving? Please tell me this is resolving, opponent. Oh my god, we got the turn 2 kill. Alright, this is just hype. This is just exciting. This is just good, clean magic right here. 20 damage, turn 2 with our pre-game Leylines. Wow. Alright. So that was our game 1. This deck's just absolutely great, isn't it? I think this deck is probably all of my favorite parts of Legacy. Alright, so let's be honest here. Our opponent could be Sneak and Show, our opponent could be the Astrolabe deck, our opponent could be a dozen other things. But you know what? It doesn't matter what your opponent's on when you kill them on turn 2. So that was incredibly lucky of us to rip that, but that was wild. Alright, let's see how we board here. So the question here is really, do we board Ethersworn Canonist? If we think they're a deck that casts multiple spells in a turn, this can absolutely slow them down. But if they're a deck that has Force of Will... so if they're Storm, we want this. If they're not Storm, we don't. I think it's a small enough hedge that we can go ahead and bring it in over these Leylines of Lightning. Or Life Force, I guess. Light Force and Vitality are equally useless because well, I guess Vitality actually gains us life when we sideboard in creatures, right? Alright, so we can make our creatures uncounterable, gain life from them. I guess it is still lightning. And we leave in Helm, so that's our other win, is we get to Helm of Obedience with Leyline of the Void. So, let's see if we get to do that this league, too. That was you know what? That game made the whole league for me. So this is 4 Leylines and 2 Serum Powders, so I think this is... And which Leylines is it, though? Some bad Leylines. If we powder, we lose a Serra Sanctum, which is heartbreaking. But I think I'm actually going to powder this one. Alright, this one looks way better. Alright, let's go ahead and keep this one. Bottom the extra crop rotation. Oh, we don't have to bottom. Alright. So, our things have Flash, and their graveyard gets exiled. Let's see what they're on. Looks like, probably not Storm. It looks like Sneak and Show. Alright, our turn. Could absolutely still be Storm. Bad time to draw that. Is it a bad time to draw that? So, we're going to pass the turn here. On their turn, we have Crop Rotation. And Crop Rotation will allow us to get our Serra Sanctum. And then we Enlighten Tutor for... I think the opponent is very likely on Show and Tell now. Which is unfortunate. So we'd bring in Oblivion Rings Game 3 if they are. And we're interested in just naturally drawing a land. It's not quite it. And we pass. Unfortunately, this is the other half of the deck. So let's see what they're on. They do still have to kill us for this game. Alright, so they are on Show and Tell. Mana Confluence there is pretty reasonable. Alright. I think we just pass the turn here. So, one of these crop rotations has to resolve in order for us to be able to get a Serra Sanctum, and then we have to Legend Rule it just to play this Leyline out. I guess we get to crop rotation the Serra Sanctum, so that's not so bad. This is obviously any counter spell ever. Yeah. I think we just let that resolve and try and draw into Serra Sanctum. Another crop rotation, obviously not quite ideal, but we're going to pass it this turn. So our good draws are natural Serra Sanctum. Oh, looks like opponent found something. Sneak attack. Oh, looks like we have died. If it's Gristlebrand plus Emrakul, we're dead. If it's just one or the other, we're not. So let's see what the opponent has. Oh, looks like it's going to be the 1+2. Alright. That's totally respectable. Love the opponent's deck. Very reasonable deck. Also going to be a hard matchup because they're a combo deck with counter magic. We are definitely hoping they were Storm. Also changes how we sideboard a little bit. Very little bit. Alright. Opponent got it. Only got to attack with one of the creatures. Oh no. We've crashed Moto. Moto doesn't know what to do if you've only let half the creatures attack. Alright, get in these Oblivion Rings in my deck. And get these Ethersworn Canvas out, I guess. Not that good. Also cut one crop rotation. Opponent being a counterspell deck means that sometimes our land gets stone rained, and that's not exactly ideal. Alright, so we're on the play. Let's look at our opening hand. It has a Mana Confluence. Darn. I hate Powdering and Opalescence and our two good Leylines. If this was a Serra's Sanctum, this would just be a very good opening hand, but we're going to go ahead and mulligan this. And we are rewarded with the turn 1? Are we rewarded with the turn 1? No way. Wow. I'm so excited. Hoping opponent doesn't have force, right? So, put in our things. Okay. Player Serra's Sanctum, player Opalescence. So how this works is if this doesn't get forced, please don't force it, opponent. It's so exciting. We attack them for 16 on the first turn of the game. So as long as our opponent does not show and tell Omniscience cast an Emrakul on us, we have won the game. This deck's wild. This deck's great. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you're having as much fun watching this as I am doing it, because I'm having a blast. Alright, let's see what the opponent does. Possible that they do have show and tell. And if that is the case, we wish we had another Opalescence in hand. Does not... Looks like they're looking for it, because they could brainstorm into 3 petals, mind you. We got it! Wow. Okay, well, that's the first match with Legacy Leylines. Let's go to match 2. We're 1-0, winning against Sneak and Show. This is so exciting. Dude, this deck's wild. I love playing decks that are not your mainstream deck, and let me tell you about decks that are not your mainstream deck. Leylines. And you know what? This is fun. Who can say they've had this much fun playing a Legacy event? Okay, all of us, because we love this format, right? See, oh, by the way, the reason why we keep saying we're hoping we're playing against Storm players is because with 8 mainboard Leylines that 12 mainboard Leylines that interact with them favorably, 4 Combustion, 4 Sanctity, 4 Void. Also, Combustion plus Punishing means that they will not gain any life off of their tendrils. Savvy! I have no idea what Savvy's on. Savvy! We did lose the die roll. You know what that means? An extra draw at Opalescence. I can't believe we got to do the turn 1 thing. I'm so excited. Since this puts 4 things into play, I'm just going to go ahead and keep this. And I have double Serra's Sanctum, so I'm not even worried about Leylines. So let's just go ahead and pop these 4 things into play. Alright, opponent. Let's see what you do. Also, double Leyline of Combustion, if they are on Storm, is pretty rough. Alright, so they're not on Storm, they're on a white deck. I'm sure opponent, you should always take the time to read what your opponent's Leylines do. Most of us are familiar with what Leylines do, but these are some unique ones. So if this plains was somehow going to be a Thoughtseize towards us, it would deal 4 damage to them. Opalescence? Opalescence. I mean, that's castable though, right? So now we cast a Leyline of Sanctity, and we can't pay the 1, so we're going to target them, and we've already yielded through the turn. Please don't ask me to say no when I don't have it. Modo. Alright, so this is the same as casting a Serum Powder because it ramps up our Sacrosanctum, and at the same time it also gives us hexproof. So it is better than Serum Powder. Alright, Caracas. There are death and taxes of some sort. Alright, let's see what you're grabbing. Batterskull. Chose not to use Stoneforge Mystic's ability. That's interesting. Opalescence. Alright, well we have to cast this now because we have to cast things at sorcery speed. We're going to choose them, and we're going to deal 1 damage to them. That is not how we plan on winning this game, for the record. Alright, so I'm assuming the opponent already has Batterskull in hand, and or both of their equipments in hand, otherwise there's no reason not to tutor there. So can we beat a Batterskull? I actually don't know. Second Stoneforge. Okay, wild. So, same draws are hot. Opalescence is the net. Starfield of Nyx is 4, 5, the same draw. What we're hoping to, if we draw Enlightened Tutor, that's it with Suspend 1, but we really don't want it with Suspend 1 at the moment. Bold attack of the opponent. Don't they know they might be chump blocking next turn? Let's find out. What do we draw? Another Sacrosanctum. Well, that's just a pass from me, Chief. So, mind you, this crop rotation is not terrible. It thins our deck by a card. Alright, so opponent taxes for 1, that's fine. We will deal 1 damage to them also off of this crop rotation. Let's go ahead and crop rot. We are just going to rotation for another Mana Confluence. Yes. There's no reason not to shock them here, even though it's very unlikely to do anything. Alright, Opalescence, show us some reward for our good deck thinning. That's not quite it. That is 4 more power, mind you. And another point of damage. So, Starfield of Nyx, Opalescence, still both are great draws here. Let's see what we can do. The cool thing about Starfield of Nyx is since it never animates itself, you don't have to worry about getting Swords to Plowshare. Here's Batterskull, and the door's starting to close pretty quickly for a hero here. I'm the hero. Right? I feel like the hero. I mean, with this deck, how could you not feel like the hero? I also feel kind of dead. Do you see how dead I feel? Look at this. I'd give us 1 draw step, tops. See if we can do it. Curious how the Death and Taxes matchup plays out. I imagine that since they have so many creatures, it's a little less ideal for us, but if we can just nut turn 1 like we did all over the Sneak and Show player, then that would be ideal in this situation. And this is a good attack from the opponent. Where they have enough blockers back, they still don't die in the backswing. Yep. Maybe they also have additional equipment. Quite possible. Opponent's paying costs at their second main. Let's see what they're playing. Maybe it's Thalia. Ah, Sarah Avenger. Have to wait a few turns to cast that one. Get lucky. Alright, so 7, 8, 9. While not technically lethal next turn, our opponent goes to a life total we can no longer beat through. So well played from the opponent. Let's see. I don't think we actually won anything for this matchup. I think this is just a game of hope to slam in opalescence. It's possible we need to up the Starfield Mix count maybe by 1 and cut a Leyline of lightning or whatever. This is why we do the testing, of course, just to try and find out what's the best. I definitely feel like this is just what we want to do, though, is what we're doing right now. So let's hope to get a bit luckier games 2 and 3. Lucky, lucky. So hopefully everyone out there is enjoying the league. Remember, if you're having as much fun as I am, definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, that follow button on Twitch, and if you have a deck that you'd like to see played, definitely leave a comment down below. Also, if there's any comments you have on my match, please leave that in the comments down below. Come into my Twitch chat. Come say hi. It's great. So right now we're just waiting for our opponent to sideboard against Leylines. I would assume if I showed up at an event with this, my opponent's sideboard guide might not include this deck. Unfortunately, there's a couple easy ways for their deck to disrupt it if they're Death and Taxes, especially if you watch my last Leylines League, you'll see what I mean. But if they don't have that interaction, or if we're just fast enough, I think we can still beat them. So we would like to play first. Is this a turn 1? It's a turn 2 kill with Helm of Obedience. Darn. I still think we keep. Oh my god. I miscounted my Leylines. I thought we had 5. I could try and wait to draw a land. Nah, I'm just going to slam this Helm of Obedience and pass. This is so exciting. This deck's just a hoot. Alright, so here's my pregame effects opponent. I guess they could also have Wasteland. That's a bit of a concern, but that doesn't change what we do here. Because now we're just drawing to any land instead of drawing to... Port doesn't work. Has to be Wasteland. Nope. And... Yep. Let's see what we got here. Do you have Wasteland, opponent? If they do, we're just drawing it. If they don't. Yay! We killed them game 2. Alright, so game 3. That's fine. Opponent's a second main kind of guy. Or gal. Alright. So Sanctum X equals 4. Let's target your exile. What have you got, opponent? Alright, and we're gonna yield through this turn. Ooh. Cataclysm. That's a pretty good one. Alright, we would have drawn Starfield Mix too. Alright, and that's our opponent's deck. So let's go to game 3. Oh man. I have to say, if you don't tune in for these streams to have this fun with me, you are missing out. So, where do you find these streams? Twitch.tv/Lucksack_games. Well, we just turned to helm someone. And that felt amazing. Amazing. There's a good chance we still lose this game 3. See, they didn't have access to Disenchant that time, but now they do, because they'll be on the play. So we're just going to have to do it on turn 1 this game. Let's do it, guys. I have a feeling that we can put this together on the first turn of the game. Hand. Something amazing. Something unbelievable. So what you're saying is if my draw step is Opalescence or Starfield of Nyx, or Helm of Obedience, I win the game. Yeah, we're keeping this hand. Here's our 5 Leyline effects, and they're all different. So we technically have 5 unique effects on our side of the field. Crocus. Vial. Alright. Very standard opening out of our opponent. We draw. That does it. We do have to open ourselves up to Wasteland, but that does it. Exciting. So the question here of whether we grab Starfield of Nyx or whether we grab Opalescence, it depends on whether or not they play Thalia here. Oh, porting me, huh? Well, that's annoying. Very, very annoying opponent. I'm still going to cast this tutor. I guess we just grab Helm of Obedience, since we have 5. And if we ever draw Sarah's Sanctum, they die. That seems like just the best one, right? Like, I'm all over here discussing combat stuff, and they're all like, nah, bro, we'll be porting you so that we don't die. Which is correct. So, porting Sarah's Sanctum. They take 2 damage every time that they're going to do this. So our opponent is on a 10-turn clock as far as porting our Sarah's Sanctum. And if we ever draw into Mana Confluence or Sarah's Sanctum, we win the game on the spot. See what we do. Opponent plays 3rd land. Mom's coming home. Activate Vial, probably for Stoneforge Mistak. Rexian Revoke, alright, that's going to be on Helm, unfortunately. It's a good play for the opponent. And obviously we have no way to remove the Revoker. So now we are just drawing to the Opalescent stuff again. Looks like the opponent's probably turned the corner this game. That port was on the perfect turn. Yep, there's Helm of Obedience is the name. So if we draw Sarah's Sanctum this turn, that literally won them the game. I am loving that every time they tap our land, though, it's dealing them damage. That's kind of hilarious. Well, looks like we drew our backup plan, opponent. So yes, this Helm of Obedience that I tutored for doesn't do anything, but you know what? It's Opalescence is. And if you keep taking 2 off of taking me off the Sarah's Sanctum, I might just be able to surprise you. It's kind of what I'm hoping happens here, is our opponent gets into a position. Ooh, this is a Thalia probably, which is fine. Opalescence is still castable. Saravenger. Alright, so they want to take up to 3, so they have Flicker Wisp. Okay, our opponent attacks us for 2 probably. Curious if they get in for 3. Darn, we're just not that lucky. This is fine. Alright. Sarah's Sanctum, Mana Confluence, 1 time. 1 time. Sarah's Sanctum, Mana Confluence. We've gone through a lot of beats. But let's see. Sarah's Sanctum, Mana Confluence. Alright, we don't have anything to do with this 5 mana, so I'm not sure why I just floated that. Weird flex, but okay. Come on, draw it. Sarah's Sanctum. Ah, Leyline of Anticipation. Alright, how many more draw steps do you think we have at it? I think the fact that the port is shocking them every turn is giving us another draw step at it. But I think if they just keep this Violet 3 and are able to blink our Opalescence, they'll be able to eventually win the game. So I'm going to give us probably... I'm going to play the game out entirely, but I'm going to estimate we only have about 1 more draw step to hit it. We do have, let's see, 4, 7 outs in the deck currently, though. That's pretty hot. Didn't exile any serum powder or anything. Kept our 7. Which means that everything that's happened has been our fault. Alright, that thing having vigilance also not ideal. That's going to hit us to 13. Talia. Luckily that, once again, we have 5 ley lines in play, so... Unfortunately, that cuts off some of our outs, because we can no longer draw Mana Confluence. It has to actually just be Serra Sanctum. So, Serra Sanctum. Show me Serra Sanctum. And? Come on, opponent! Ah, oh, Leyline the Meek. Alright. Let's see. Opponent attacks us for 7 next turn. We animate, we're able to swing back for 12. Oh my god. So, this file is holding up a Flicker Wisp, but because we have the potential to lethal them, let's keep going. Port has single-handedly won our opponent this game. Well, our opponent single-handedly won them the game, but Port was the card that did the heavy lifting. Good show. Can you believe some decks are starting to cut that? Port's amazing. Especially against a deck that only has 1 land. Alright. Last turn, let's draw it. They have 2 blockers. We could have 3 attackers. They don't have a Flicker Wisp in hand. We have a dream. Come on. Serra Sanctum. Serra Sanctum. Oh no, not another blocker. That ruins the dream. Opponent? What number are you putting that on? Don't say 4. That's not cool. Alright, I'm still going to see if we're going to draw it. That's cool play from the opponent there. Going to tap us down, of course, here. We are dead. I'm just seeing if we would have hit it eventually. So we hit half our opponent's life total without ever playing a land. That was pretty good. We would not have. Alright, so happens. Well played from our opponent to win the match. Alright, so going into match 3, let's see how this goes. Hope everyone out there, once again, is having as much fun as I am. Getting ported over and over and over again, but being able to shock our opponent every time definitely has me thinking about red decks in Legacy. Like, yeah, I get it. Burn is the deck you bring when you're bringing a joke to a Legacy tournament, for the most part. I'm not offending any Burn players out there. I know several that bring it to Fire and Dice and top 8 their 1Ks and their qualifiers with Burn. But as a general view of the community, Burn's considered the joke. So, I play Leyline of Combustion in it, and every time they want to wasteland me or something along those lines, they're going to be taking 2. They want to swords my dude, they're going to be taking 2. It's actually interesting because I think there was a Star City Games Invitational qualifier that also had a list that had 4 Eidolon and 4 Leyline of Combustion. Leyline of Combustion also fixes one major issue which the deck has, which is that Storm. Storm just kind of smashes them if they don't have Eidolon. And Combustion says, here's some free Eidolons against Storm, effectively. So, let's see who we're paired against next. We've played against Death and Taxes, played against Sneak and Show. These are actually the decks I played against when I first started playing Legacy. I was a Sneak and Show player, and I played against Death and Taxes and Sneak and Show all the time. Storm, I only played against rarely. There tends to be very few devoted Storm pilots, but the ones that do tend to stick with the deck through and through. Lots of lands opponents. Adam Feifels is probably one of the strongest lands opponents you'll ever sit across from. Alright, so let's see. We're just waiting for our next opponent for round 3, hoping they don't run away like our first opponent did in round 1. I don't mean... Okay, not our opponent. Our first pairing, round 1. So I'm going to look around real quick and see if I brought my drink with me. Maximum sad, I did not. So let's see here. Remember, if there's a deck, if you're watching, remember, if in the future you're watching this on YouTube and there's a deck that you want to see played on my channel, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear back from you. If you think that there's a play we should have made differently, if there's a keep we should have done differently, or if you just think this is a really sweet deck, I'd love to hear back from you. Alright, so let's keep going. 3 minutes is actually shockingly long for the Legacy League. I guess any of my viewers that might be a Vintage fan are still used to longer league times. As a primarily Modern and Legacy player, I'm used to, 56-second pairings. Let's see here. It says locating opponent in stage 1, but there's only stage 1 matches, so question mark. I could just say locating opponent, I guess. Look, guys, I'm doing the best I can with the spinning dial. It's a spinning dial. I don't know how I can make this more appealing to you. Ooh, I can show you a new trick I learned. Unfortunately, I can't show it to you until we're in the game. I know, right? Sorry, guys and girls. Let's see what we got here. Opponent, who's past 420. I'm excited to leyline people. Come on. Alright, there we go. Apparently bitching is the secret to all Magic players' troubles, right? Alright, we won the die roll. Let's see what we start off with. Pile of Leylines. Mana Confluence. Cool thing is we get to mulligan 6 on this one. On this one, I think we actually take a Powder. Which still keeps us at 6, but I think that's fine. So let's Powder, Ditch Sanctity, done. New hand, also pretty rough. Powder. This hand is not ideal, but I mean, we're going to keep this. So let's put in 3 Leylines. And I wish I had an enchantment that costs less than 4 in my deck. Anything. An O-Ring would do. So instead I'm drawing to a land of any sort. Also, if we're against Storm, we may have just randomly won the game. Because we have Leyline of the Void plus Leyline of Combustion in play. 6 great. So we're hoping to just draw the land. We have to play out the Sarah's Sanctum there. Even if they might have... Oh no, we only get 1 turn to draw the land. Frontal Eldrazi. Land? Land. Yeah! Alright, that's what I'm talking about. So we get to go Opalescence. Can't imagine this doesn't resolve. And then bash our opponent for 12. Boom. Yeah! This deck. Leylines. Leylines. Shooting them all dead. Shooting all our opponents dead. How often do you see this message in chat? Is being attacked by Leyline of the Void, Leyline of Life Force, and Leyline of Combustion. Well, our opponent told us that they ain't having none of our shit, and they're taking away our Enlightened Tutor, and they're not going to let us tutor during upkeep. But we still have Lethal on in play. Alright, so let me show you the trick real quick of what I learned. You can go ignore chat. Hide game log, sorry. See, look. I made it a little bit bigger for you guys. Alright, so... Frontal Eldrazi. I think I want one Oblivion Ring for the previously stated reason that I did not realize I have absolutely nothing in my deck at 3. And that'll ramp me to 4. Yeah, this... What do we do against creature-based, non-disruptive decks that are about as fast as us, maybe a little bit slower? I'm pretty sure we just try and Leyline them. God, that must have been great. Mulligan, powder, powder. This hand's fine. Kill you. This is great. This deck's great. I might just have to take this deck to my next Legacy event I go to. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Opponent, what could you possibly sideboard? I'm just curious. Grafdigger's Cage? Stop all these Leylines from entering the battlefield. I mean, these are my least favorite keeps. But we draw Serra's Sanctum. We kill them on turn 1. Keep. We have 3 different red Leylines as well, which is kind of cool because each one has a unique effect. So 5 Leylines. Let's draw it off the top. 4 Serra's Sanctums. Let's go. As Han Solo once said, never tell me the odds. We're owed it. We're owed this Serra's Sanctum. Come on. See what you got. You let down Eldrazi Temple, so it's a turn 2 Thought Knot, so we have to... Oh no, we didn't draw it. Alright, this is fine. It looks like we're going to get Thought Knotted here, unfortunately, which will take away Opalescence. But we still get a couple draw steps beyond that. Yep, if this isn't Thought Knot Seer, I'll eat my lunch. Because it's Thought Knot Seer. Yeah. It will take 2. Serra's Sanctum. Alright, so I give us about 2 draw steps and then we die. And then we go to game 3. So, there's no real headaches with this deck. There's no real... Should I have sequenced that differently? The only question is, did I mulligan wrong? Which is possible. Looks like a Reality Smasher here. Which is, ironically, if they don't play another creature and we drew the right cards... Alright, we're going to go ahead and make our opponent think that we still have an option. We are dead. We have lost this game. But there's no reason for us not to at least learn about another card. Looks like they're just going to bolt us or something. Yep. Maybe they have Nature's Claim. That'd be great. Leyline Punishment. Alright. Concede game. We are dead. Probably could click through their combat, but I mean, is that really how we're trying to win these games? So, yeah, no, let's go. See if we can have the absolute perfect 7 or 6. We would like to play first. Yeah. Only 3 Leylines isn't the best, but this is fine. So we're going to keep this. So 3 Leylines allows us to cast Serum Powder, and we're attacking with Leylines on turn 2. Also, of note, if we ever draw Helm of Obedience off the top, we have a herpa-derpa way to do that, too. Hopefully opponent doesn't have Wasteland. If the opponent just goes Wasteland or Serra's Sanctum, we are kind of far behind. So wish it was 4, but here's 3 Leylines. And a Serum Powder. Your turn, opponent. See what they do. That's not a Wasteland. That's not a Wasteland. Alright, let's get in there for 12. Yeah! Attacking for 12 on turn 2. Alright, opponent's at 8. Let's see if they cast another Thought-Knot Seer. Are you casting Thought-Knot Seer, opponent? You're scaring me. Yeah! We got there. Leylines. this deck's just wild. Can you not experience the radiant energy? You know what's sad? Is that I actually feel like I'm not going to be as excited when I'm playing Neo Brand in, well, 2 more matches, as I am when I play this deck. I mean, Leylines! Just smash them dead! Turn 2, 12 power with haste. Go. Alright. We lost the die roll. See what our opening hand is. It's a shame this is only 1 Leyline, but we have to actually mulligan this because it's also... Do we? Do we, though? It is one of our opalescences, but it's also a bunch of cards that isn't. Let's powder this. Let's keep this. So what we get to do here is we get to pregame 6 Leylines, and if we draw Helm of the Void, Opalescence, or Starfield of Nyx, we kill our opponent on the first turn of the game. I'm excited. Also, randomly, if our opponent is on Storm, we once again have the Wombo combo of 3 different named red Leylines, which means Combustion and Punishment work pretty well together. Waiting on my opponent. I don't even mind if they're coming to come view the channel, to be honest. If you want to come view, at least drop a follow on your way by, opponent. I don't mind. I really don't. I'm having so much fun playing this deck. Alright, perform any opening hand actions. Alright, we will put these into play. Okay, opponent. Let's see if you're on Dredge or something, where this Leyline of the Void was really, really punishing. What are you playing? That's a long pause. Think they're surprised? So they mulligan to 5. That leads me to believe that they're probably a deck that might have needed to use the graveyard. Oh, looks like they might be Sneak and Show. Not a fan of the fact they might have counter magic now. We're going to go ahead and cast a Serum Powder. They could also have Wasteland. Let's go ahead and Leyline of Lightning them for 2. And we're yielding through this turn. Yes. And yes. And yes on the mono warning. Alright, cool. So, same things that we were hoping to draw last time, we're hoping to draw this time. See what the opponent has. Okay. The opponent Pink Frosting. It is your turn. Oh no, that's the Wasteland. Well, they're not on Storm, but that will shock them. And now we're in a much worse position. So if I draw Opalescence, it was 100, or Helm, or Starfield. It was 100% incorrect for me to play that. Alright, well, never punished, because my deck's not going to do it anyways. Alright, we still have a few turns. Opponent's on a pretty heavy mulligan to get there. These cantrips are not helping us, definitely helping the opponent. Tropical Island. Uh-oh, that's going to get him to Renin 6. And then Renin 6 on Wasteland is not exactly what we were looking for. Luckily, we're just, we still need to assemble 2 combo pieces regardless. That's a Hex Drinker plus an Evolution. Alright. That's a Leyline of Vitality. That doesn't do anything. This is, we don't have any deck manipulation or anything, so we just, take the turns as they come. I'm just going to go all in on this Hex Drinker. Seems good. 4 this turn, 6 the next 2. We die to a Bolt because we don't have protection from the Bolt. So, Let's see, we get exactly 2 more draw steps. So we're hoping Helm is the first draw step, and Sarah's Sanctum is the second draw step, and that our opponent doesn't have any counter magic, which they're Rug Delver, so I'd be shocked if they didn't have any counter magic. Good old Rug Delver with extra fetches. Okay. Playing their Ren and 6 out. Sure. Oh, doesn't really buy back Wastelands when you have Leyline in play, does it? Opponent deals 1 damage to us and 2 damage to them. Talk about a double-edged sword. Get lucky? Oh, that's half of getting lucky. We only need one more thing to get lucky, everyone. Everyone, we only need one more thing to get lucky. That's a Delver. That won't stop our opponent if we get lucky. This is a hard cast Force of Negation they're holding up. That's miserable. That's so bad. Oh, they're leveling up post-combat. Alright, this is our chance. We can even pay for a Spell Pierce. Sarah's Sanctum. We are dead. We are deader than dead. Let's go ahead and begin sideboarding. Alright, so the opponent's on Delver. Delver, the fun police. Alright, so let's see. Opponent will have counterspells, almost assuredly. I'm only cutting 2 Leyline of Lightnings for 2 Oblivion Rings, and we're calling it a day. Sorry for that clap. What we're hoping for is that the opponent will not have Force of Will, and that we just kill them on turn 1. That's the line of play there. A little unfortunate that we did eventually draw into the Opalescence, so if I had just sandbagged it, we would have got there. Feels bad, man. I guess I didn't need to cast the Serum Powder either, so the person who lost that game wasn't our faithful Leylines deck. It was me, your faithful broadcaster. I'm sorry. We would like to play first. Can we also have a Nutso hand? Do we get to pick that? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. So this is kind of our Nutso hand, but we need one more, right? I'll go ahead and take a mulligan. Oh, this hand's significantly worse. Let's take another mulligan. Alright, so I'm going to keep this. Bottom this. 1, 2, 3. So, thinking here. If we bottom the crop rotation, we're drawing Sarah's Sanctum. We don't get to play around days of any sort. Yeah, that's just the line. Ah, fuck. Excuse my language. I snap conceded that game because I forgot to put in my Leylines. I got way too focused on the potential play patterns there, and I am so sorry for that. So, well, I just took that entire match and went, hey opponent, you know what? I'm running a cool deck, but you're running the best deck in the format. You go take it and run it across the finish line. So very likely they still had us there that game too, but we had them game 1 if I didn't misplay. Awkward I exposed us to Wasteland. Before I see Petals, I definitely shouldn't jump on assuming they're Sneak and Show, especially when Temur Delver is currently the best deck in format. So we're against Sam51087. Hello, Sam51087. Would you like to be on the play? Would you like to be on the draw? Let's go ahead and powder this one. Boink. Let's go ahead and should we mulligan this one? Yes. It's real close, though. This one I think we're going to keep. 4. Put down of the Meek. Done. Pre-game effect all 4 of our Leylines. Okay. So, at least we remember to put on our Leylines. I am so sorry about that last game. And since we can't cast our Leylines, we're literally on the 0% of that game. Our opponent could cast Fugitive Wizard and win the game. So, over with the last match. Let's see how this one goes. Oh my god. We're blown out by literally everything. You know what? I'm going to do it during my beginning of combat step. Target them. We're really hoping this resolves. No. Alright, Sarah Sanctum. Opalescence in combat. Also no on this one. So, we're now going to hit them for 16, ideally. Oh, making up for it immediately, deck. Making up for it immediately. Right here in my heart. Right here in my heart. The good old Floodstrand Pass deck. So, we have no clue what they're playing. Floodstrand Pass probably means crop rotation isn't ideal, and we should probably bring in at least one Oblivion Ring. See what we got. That felt great. Man, that was amazing. It could also have just been Storm with budget fetches. I believe Floodstrands are currently cheaper than the traditional fetches that Storm plays, but let's not try and make deck assumptions based on budget. Especially on Moto. Like, I remember... So I was playing a Legacy event, and my opponent shocks in a Watery Grave and casts Thoughtseize. And I went, oh, interesting. He goes, yeah, budget reanimator, don't have my stuff yet. And I'm like, yeah, you know, happens to us all. And turn 2, he did reanimate a Gristlebrand, and then cast 2 Death Shadows. Alright, so this hand puts... I think I'm going to keep this. So it's the mana to cast Opalescence. It puts Helm on top. And it puts a Leyline of the Void into play. I think this is kind of everything we're hoping for in a post-board game where our opponent's going to have more interaction. Unfortunately, our opponent does not appear to be on Dredge or whatever. So let's go ahead and put in these Leylines. Ironically, Reanimator, probably a miserable matchup. Astrolabe resolves. Draw. Pass the turn. So we don't really... It's kind of great that we drew Enlightened Tutor there, and the opponent doesn't seem to be a Wasteland deck. Alright. So we do want Opalescence, I think, to be the more likely thing to be countered. So, Enlightened Tutor. See if the opponent even lets this resolve. Ideally, they counter this. It doesn't really do anything. Except hide a Helm of Obedience on top of our deck. Except hide a Helm of Obedience on top of our deck. So if the opponent knows the Rip Helm combo, they know that they can pretty safely just counter this. But that's fine. So we're going to grab this. We're going to play this. And we're going to ask them if they want to burn their counterspell on our Opalescence instead. No. Yeah. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's fine. Yep. So now we're drawing to any land to kill him with a Helm, which is why we did it in this sequence. The opponent knows we have the Helm, so they know they're on a clock, unfortunately. I still think it's completely correct there to tutor for that. Well, that's any land, so Sarah's Sanctum. Here's another Sarah's Sanctum. This one. Helm of Obedience. Did we get there? Did we get there, opponent? Did we get there? Oh no, not paying costs. Ah, that one exiles too. Unfortunate. Alright, let's cast this Enlighten Tutor. To make it so we can put 12 power on top of our deck. So we can't quite cast the Starfield of Nyx. Otherwise, that's obviously my preferred card. So Opalescence it is. And we'll pass to this turn. Opponent's kind of low on resources with only 2 cards in hand. A little unfortunate they got to hard cast a Force of Negation there. Also possible if our opponent plays a Mentor. Alright, well I don't like this pass, because that means they likely have a counterspell for this, but we don't really have outs to playing around counterspells. Oh my god, they don't. Okay. Maybe it's just Jace bounce one of them, but that still leaves them dead? Swords one? Yeah, that's take 8, opponent. It's a good line, but we're clocking you still. Our best draw off the top here is Opalescence, again, so that we can attack in for 8, or attack in for lethal. See what this is here. Oh no, this is the Jace. That's bad. Yep. It's a good play out of the opponent. Alright, so that's going to buy them more than 1 turn. So, we're going to kill the Jace here. And I think we Enlighten Tutor for O-Ring. Because O-Ring's still a 3-power creature. And we can remove Astrolabe, so that seems fine. Oh no, opponent has more things. Not another Jace! Oh, a Supreme Verdict. Yeah, it's fine. I'm still going to cast this Enlighten Tutor. That's a great draw to the opponent, though. Go ahead and grab Oblivion Ring. So, unfortunately, they removed our second mana source, so we have to pass to the turn here. But if the opponent can just do us a favor and draw a few bricks, greatly appreciated. Paying cost is not the start of a brick. Oh my god, no. Everything is going terribly. Alright, so Mana Confluence is the land we want to draw now. And if we do draw that, we get to O-Ring the Jace. No. Our House of Cards is falling apart. Whew. I think our opponent might have won this game too. Game 3? I don't remember. Definitely winning the top deck war, though. Whew. Jace into Supreme Verdict into Jace. Dear God, they didn't even brainstorm with the Jace. I get it. Brainstorm's on the stack now. Ha ha ha. Alright. Lucky. Alright. Our opponent's probably a good way from actually killing us, though. And if Oblivion Ring resolves, it is a 3/3 creature. They are at 9. It's very likely we're dead here. They appear to just be your traditional Miracles list, not Jeskai Mentor, though. As they play Mentor? No. Okay. That doesn't matter. Can you reveal a counterspell? Wear Tear. Oh, that's a good one. Alright, with Wear Tear and us drawing another Leyline we can't cast, let's go to game 3. Do you want Chalice of the Voyage if they're going to try and Wear Tear us? I don't think so. I don't think so. So Miracles is not a stellar matchup at all. We are very lucky we got game 1. Miracles is probably one of our worst matchups, since they have, especially post-board, A lot of forces. One cool thing is if we start with Leyline of Anticipation, we can make at least some of those forces really bad. We can't powder 2 Sarah's Sanctums away, can we? Oh my god, I just powdered away 2 Sarah's Sanctums. I'm a madman. We're gonna mulligan this one. So I think we take a look at another 6 with this. Just keep powdering through our deck. Mulliganing aggressively. So what do we still want in our deck? I think Enlightened Tutor. So this is 4 Leylines, Opalescence. Gotta draw into the Sarah's Sanctum. Hope the opponent doesn't have anything. Alright. Go ahead, opponent. Please don't have anything. I'm pretty sure we can't beat anything this game. Combustion plus punishment, kind of funny. We can't actually gain life now off of their never lucky. We can't gain life off of their Swords to Plowshares. So I'd give us probably this next draw step to be lucky enough to hit it. And with the opponent having, yeah. Maybe the turn they tap down for their Jace is the turn we get to get it. But I'm pretty sure this game was over when we didn't hit it in our first draw step. Miracle's just a very good deck at crafting their hand to beat you over the course of a longer game. Shift the light a little bit there. So this is well played by my opponent. Definitely another fun league. Oh, they're going to clean up with 2 cards in hand. This is an Oblivion Ring, so I don't hate that. See what the opponent does. Yep, going to clean up. Alright, our turn. Our turn. We don't have to go to cleanup because we started the game by putting 4 cards in from our hand into play. Alright, definitely got Brainstorm locked there, it looks like, though. No, they have Brainstorm them fetched. Discarding all these creature removals, not exactly ideal. We get to go to discard next turn, which is a little unfortunate. Also, if we had started this Leyline of Anticipation, it makes our sequencing a little easier against control decks. It's the reason why Leyline of Anticipation is a little slightly more desired of a Leyline. I'm not saying significantly by any means. Alright, our turn to go to discard. Which one do we want to bring back most if we get a Starfield of Nyx? That is literally the priority for discarding your Leylines, is if I draw and can cast a Starfield of Nyx, what's the priority of that? Alright. We didn't get it this turn either. So, once again, what we're hoping to do is just draw a Sarah's Sanctum. It's a little unfortunate. I did have to powder 2 of them away. But I also have this crop rotation, which means... Oh no, the opponent found the 3rd mana source. Okay. So, yeah, that's bad. Alright. Mana Confluence or Sarah's Sanctum, please. We have died. Opponent has Teferi, which can bounce one of our Leylines. Then we no longer produce 4 mana for Opalescence. And even if we can O-ring the Teferi, I don't see us winning this game. Life Force. Which Leyline would you like us to pick up, opponent? They're tapping out for a Jace. So they have to have Force in hand. Because otherwise, tapping out for Jace here is literally risking either going to 1 or losing both their walkers, so... It's okay, we can't punish it anyways. For the record, not the exciting part of this deck. Discard double Supreme Verdict. Opponent had multiple Supreme Verdicts in their board. Alright, another Opalescence. Let's discard this Leyline. Oh, there. They're ticking up their Jace. So now we need both our Sarah Sanctums back to back. I mean, if they would just start bouncing our Leylines with this Teferi, like if they bounce 2 Leylines, I would probably just concede. But they just keep going upstairs with it, so. Very confused. Very confused. Their hand must just be so beyond stacked that they're like, which is possible. I mean, they've brainstormed several times, fetched a couple times. That's why you play these Magic cards together. Leyline of Lightning. That's not going to do it either. So, in a dream world, they fetch here, we somehow draw into Sarah's Sanctum, and we get them. We're not living in a dream world. We're living in a Miracles world, and we're just playing Leylines. This deck's fun, though. Like, you do kind of have to Lucksack your opponent out on turn 1, but that's kind of what we're about. Alright, so Jace going to 11. Teferi going to 9. Discard Leyline of Life Force. A Mana Confluence also allows us to Enlighten 2 to shuffle if they top with the Jace. The good news is I won't make my opponent suffer past when they tick this up. That's fine. Is that why the opponent hasn't been taking it? Oh, opponent hasn't been taking up Jace on us because they can't because of Leyline. Nice. Nice. Still, Teferi could have bounced this Leyline a million years ago. So, there's bouncing 1, or killing 1. Unfortunately, we're at the point now where I have so many Leylines still in play. I'm going to take the draw step. Yep. Like I said, not going to make my opponent have to ultimate the Jace. They bounce Leyline with Teferi, and then they ultimate Jace on us and we die. So, 2 and 3, still pretty fun with Leylines. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. Alright,